Here's what your running probably looks like. You mentally sign up for an event. You don't actually sign up because, that's a bit too much commitment. Then you start training without a plan. Or at least maybe you'll grab like a free generic plan from Garmin or whoever online. And then you kind of ignore the plan and just do every single run steady because easy running feels like a bit of a waste of time and it looks lame on Strava. Then you're like, maybe I should do some interval training. And you pretty much smash the first few intervals and then just taper off and not really get the rest of them done if you haven't already given up after the first couple. Then you'll struggle to get consistency in your training because you'll miss like a good few days, if not a week, because you don't have a training plan. So you've struggled to actually plan ahead, and then family, work, life kind of fills that extra spare time you'd hoped you'd have for running. Okay, so now you've finally made it to your event, and you just have no idea if you're going to be able to hit that arbitrary finish time that you've set for yourself. And so you get to the finish, you finally get through the race, and you know you can run faster, right? But how? Well, if that sounds like you and you can relate to that, then one, you need to sign up for my masterclass, March 13th, ABCs to running PBs. I'll optimize your training with you. And then you need to stay tuned because I want to show you how polarized training can help break out of your training rut and really start to make significant progress in your running. So first up, we need to clarify a term or a terminology, 80-20 running. You may have heard of it. I mean, the 80-20 rule of thumb is kind of gets thrown around, work 80%, play 20%, diet hard for 80, chill for 20, whatever. In this context, it's 80% of your running needs to be done easy, 20% needs to be done hard. And I'm going to use this context in a polarized training approach. So when we're looking at an 80-20 polarized approach, we're going to do 80% at zone 1, zone 2, and then 20% at zone 4 or above. Now, the confusing part that people often get kind of caught up on is, does this mean every single run, or is this like across a week or a month? And I'll typically say, have a look at your time and zones across a few weeks. So it's not every single run, it's an average across a few weeks. So when I say time and zones, a lot of training software, like I utilize Training Peaks, you can have a look at how much time you've spent in each of your training zones over a week or a month or multiple months. And so what you want to be able to do is on average, across a few weeks, have 20% in zone 4 or above, and then 80% zone 2 or zone 1. So how would that look? Okay, within a polarized approach, you should be doing 80% of your running zone 1, zone 2. And what that will do is it will allow for a productive environment in which you can build mitochondria and you can build the blood vessels that surround your muscles. It's called capillarization. And so what that will be able to do is you'll be able to increase your running economy and your oxygen kinetics. So that is transport and utilization of oxygen by having more mitochondria to use it, more capillaries to transport it and deliver and remove waste products. And then with the 20% of your high intensity work, you're getting the specificity within your running to stimulate high end musculoskeletal power, as well as the aerobic and anaerobic components of the energy systems. So that's increased rate of glycolysis, lactate shuttling, hydrogen ion buffering, and transport across the mitochondrial membranes and the muscle cell membranes. And so you're starting to get the best of both worlds. And especially if you're listening or watching this, it's probably something you haven't had very well established within your training. And that's why I think a polarized approach for a lot of you gray zone runners out there is going to create significant progress and break you out of that training kind of plateau and rut. And so you're thinking, it's hard, right? It's hard to train. It's hard to run easy. I've been there. I've been walking up the climbs. I've been walking upstairs thinking this is a waste of time. This is absolutely rubbish. But now, like, I'm succumbed to it, right? Like, I just know, hey, in terms of building consistency, aerobic base, and getting high quality workouts done, I got to run easy. I got to run easy when it needs to be easy. And so part of that is like, if you have a look at your favorite runners or triathletes, whoever's out there, you're following them on Strava, have a look at their kind of general, easy aerobic runs and work out how their pace, whatever they're doing in their general runs, equates to their like optimal marathon pace. Because I can almost guarantee it's probably like a minute and a half to 2 minutes slower. They're going to be running like 3 minute, 3 minute per K, 5 minute mile, around that for a marathon. And then they're probably running like a 5 minute K or 8+ minute mile on their easy runs. And so I don't think you're probably getting that separation in your easy runs because they understand the need to build an aerobic base and build consistency and quality within those high quality hardcore workouts. And so, what does that look like for you? What does that look like for your standard, 4 to 5 day a week runner with an hour, maybe an hour and a half at the weekend to smash out some workouts? And we're not talking about, building towards a marathon or anything. We're talking about re-establishing your baseline. Maybe you could bang out a 10K or a half with this kind of approach. But this is kind of a re-establish, rebuilding phase for you, right? So what you want to do is, let's have a look. Okay, you got 4 or 5 runs. You want 1 or 2 of those to just be your standard, easy aerobic, zone 1, zone 2, 30 to 60 minute runs. Nothing specific than that, just keeping it chill. Then, depending on what what you're training for, what your current base level is, you'd want run of at least 60 minutes up to 90 minutes. All right, again, keeping it chill, easy, zone 1, zone 2. Then you want like a high-end fartlek run. So this could be 2 to 3 times, 10 times 1 minute on, 1 minute off. So you do 10 times 1 minute on, 1 minute off. You're not too concerned about the top end pace. You want to be hitting around like kind of at least 5K race pace, but you could do it on the trails. You could do it on undulating. We're just looking at the increased muscular power as well as the metabolic stimulus that comes from those significant changes in pace. Then you want to do probably a VO2 max workout. So I think 1Ks or half mile repeats are going to be great for those of you watching. Okay, that's going to set you up for anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes worth of high quality work, and you want to do 5 to 8 of those. That's a pretty challenging workout. I definitely recommend starting at the lower end of your pace range, so maybe looking at more of like a 10K pace and starting out at 5. But then if you're, quite a fast runner and you're looking at low, mid 30-minute 10K, you could probably push up to doing, 5+ because the duration isn't going to be as long. And then you're looking at 2 to 3 minutes of rest, plus warm up, cool down. And then if you've got a bit more time, you could extend the warm up or cool down to make that into like an overall 90-minute workout. But that's your base, right? That's what I'd like to see across a month of polarized 80-20 training. Read it on my blog. It'll be there. Sign up to the newsletter. You'll get it sent. Otherwise, I got my training plans. They're just linked in the description. I've got 12-week and race and base phase plans. Even my base phase ones, I do create polarization as you move through base phase 1 to 3. And then we've got the masterclass coming up, and within that you get invited, special invite to the Reignite Your Running course, where I set out your runner's roadmap, help you out with the first, kind of 3 months of your training, and yeah, we get into it. I mean, I'm here to help. #FastWithData. All right, guys, till next time. Happy running.